Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just gonna let my hair air dry here on camera, so this is what we're gonna start off with. We'll probably be nice and poofy by the end. But anyways, as some of you may have seen if you are subscribed or if you have seen my other video, I recently got my first car, which was so exciting, and I just feel like free now. I can go beep beep drive anywhere I want to go. It was a little bit of a process, and obviously something very new for me to go through or experience because I've never obviously did this before. I was posting a couple videos on TikTok about like my tips for it, but I decided to still do that and also make a video talking more and things that I learned in this process. So here are my tips for getting a car. First thing that I did when looking into getting a car was obviously doing a lot of research online. Before going to a dealership, I would recommend figuring out what kind of car you want, whether it's a car, a truck, SUV, and then going more into the brand or the model and make of a car. Look more into details such as color, what year do you want to buy a used car, a new car. Once you figure out what kind of vehicle you want, next I would recommend looking at dealerships near you and comparing prices. Sometimes you can just get an online quote for a vehicle, which I did that. It was a little bit annoying if you're just looking at prices and stuff. Put like a fake email and a fake phone number because people will call you. This one lady kept emailing me, and then I eventually just emailed her back. I'm like, hi, can you please remove me from like your email mailing list because I really don't want to receive these emails. So she didn't respond for a couple days, and then she sent me another email and was like, hi, remember me? And I'm like, bitch, stop emailing me. That's just something random, but you know, if you are just looking at prices, in the long run it can also help you with deciding where you want to go get this car, and you could also use that to help you with negotiating a price at the dealership. I'm going to talk a little more about negotiating later. Go to more than one dealership. I went to two. I would have preferred to go a little bit more around. If you want to, you can talk to a person at the dealership. It's really up to you. If you are just going there to look, you can do that. I think it could be good if you do want to talk to a person, like a salesperson, because then if they decide to give you a price, then you at least know what they're willing to work with. I personally did not go and really talk to anyone at the first. I kind of wish that I would have, because maybe it would have been a better price there than the other one. But this video is going to be like tips for getting a car, learn from my mistakes basically. Once you decide on the car and everything and you're actually going out to get one, definitely test drive the car. You can buy cars online now, but I personally wouldn't, because like I said in my shopping for a car video, I felt like in certain cars I felt like too small in, or I just felt like the car was too big for me. Some places are allowing you to test drive it by yourself. The one that I went to, the guy came in the car with me, but I think that was because I've never had a car before and I only got my license recently, so he was probably hoping that I don't crash the car. So for my car, I decided to lease it just because I figured that was the best option for me. So far it's been really good. The only complaint I have about my car so far is that like the mileage and gas, it be eating this gas up like nothing. If you have questions and everything like about the car or literally anything, feel free to definitely ask the person, your salesperson. They are there to answer the questions for you. Even if they might not know them, they can go ask, you know, their manager or whatever. My next two tips, basically I'm going to put them together. Watch what time of the month you're going. I went like October 26th or 27th, I think. And then literally that weekend was Halloween, and they were having all these end of the month sales. 3 days later, pretty much after I went and got this car, they were having like employee discounted, you know, car rates and everything. And also with Black Friday coming up, Jeep specifically, which is my model of a car, they are having like Black Friday employee discount pricing, all this crazy shit. So unless you are in a rush, like you have to go and get a car like by next week or, you know, at a certain time, if you're able to, watch out for companies to have like deals and everything, because you could be saving a lot of money. Kind of sucks. I mean, the salesperson, you know, had to make a sale, but it kind of would have been nice if like he could have been like, yeah, you should just wait a couple days and it would be a lot cheaper. But no, I can't blame him. It's his job. Going towards the end of the month, that's when usually they have to start getting like all their sales in. Definitely end of the month towards the end of the year is the best. So most likely like November, 30th or whatever, December, because they have to ultimately get rid of a lot of 2020s because 2021s are coming out or they're already out. I would recommend definitely not putting any money down the first time that you go unless you definitely want to get that car that day or you have to get the car that day. If you make them think that you're not gonna be down to pay the price or you'll just walk and go to another dealership, more than likely they'll be willing to work with you and maybe even giving you a lower price. We'll talk about it when we go home, like blah blah blah, and you leave. More than likely this car salesman, if they are really looking to make a sale, they're gonna call you, like, you know, play them, like, alright, yeah, I'll think about it. Unless this car is like really hot in demand and like that car is gonna be sold later that day, I would recommend to do that. Also with the pricing, definitely figure out what the interest rate is. I knew about an interest rate, but I didn't really think to look into it, I guess. I really don't know. That day the car salesman had told me what I'd be paying a month for my car payment, and I figured, alright, yeah, that sounds like, you know, how much a car payment should be. Until like 2 weeks later I got a letter in the mail that explained to me my monthly payment and the interest rate, which is 9%, which 9% is very high. So I will admit I made that mistake. It didn't show you how much the interest rate was, like I said, on the paper at the dealership. It just told you that what your monthly payment would be for 36 months or whatever. My payment could have been probably a lot lower if I would have known that. The tip with getting the car is don't put a ton of money down. Obviously a lot of cars you have to put like at least a minimum of however much down, but don't be putting, you know, half of the car payment down, because obviously anything could happen with this car. I mean, God forbid something could happen before you even get off the dealership lot and you could total it or whatever. You just lost out on all that money ultimately, and especially if it is a lease. Your lease has to go back within a certain amount of years, and if you just totaled it, you lost all that money. At least if you own the car, you could possibly make some money back, but if it's a lease, you lost all of that money. Put the minimum down, a little bit above the minimum. It will help your monthly payments go down, obviously, the more that you put down. Unless you're going to pay off your car that day when you're going to buy it, then that's on you. Don't feel pressured that you have to go and buy a car from that place on that day. Just tell them you're simply looking, you are serious about a certain vehicle that you saw on their lot. Then you can tell them that you're interested. I think leasing is nice personally, just because in a couple years you can go and get a new car. You don't have to feel that you have to be stuck with this car basically for as long as it lives until you want to sell it or like trade it in. I also saw this one girl recommend that you don't trade in your car if you have a car and you're just going to get another one or a new one. And I think she was like a former car salesman. She said to just actually flat out sell your car and make money off of that because you'll make more money. That's just something completely random. Side note, I didn't have a car to trade in. So that's all of my tips that I have off the top of my head that I wrote down. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I will try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Again, this is just what I learned from my experience. Good luck if you are out car shopping. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.